I was alone. They were gone, dead, and it was all my fault. I didn't want to, but it was all my fault. I knew I couldn't stay, so I left. Left to go find him, the one who I knew who could have helped me. So I ran into the woods, where I knew I could find him. I looked and looked. I even called out his name. Slendy! He was nowhere that I could see. Hours passed. I fell to the ground, weak from hunger, and I cried, and I cried, and couldn't stop crying until I heard his voice. I looked up and smiled, but as I tried to get up, still weak from hunger, I fell back down. I was very, very hungry. He picked me up and carried me to his place. I was so happy to see him, but soon as we walked through his door, my joy turned into something else. I saw that all those creepypastas that people thought as Slendy had proxies. The ones that I always put aside saying no, he wouldn't do that, he wouldn't have people like that. Or he's not that kind of person. He really did have proxies. Wow. He set me down on the couch, the only one in the room, only piece of furniture in his house. He bent down and asked me what was wrong and why I came. So I told him everything. I told him that I had killed my parents. It was all my fault. I told him I ran to go find him. I told him everything. Then he asked how I killed my parents and family. I asked what time it was. Jeff, one of the creepypastas, that I still couldn't believe was there. He said it was 1:50. I told them, thank you, and then I told them and Slendy that they would find out at midnight, but they should probably pile up as much dead bodies as possible if they want to stay safe. They asked me why. I said, let's just say we get a bit hungry at midnight. It's an issue. And so, as the time passed, they piled up 10, 15 dead bodies. 1 minute before midnight, I told them that they could stay outside, but should probably stay on that porch and the gate. So they did. And then by the time midnight had struck, the full moon above me had shined its light on me, kind of like a spotlight, I thought, and it said, watch carefully, but don't come down to help. They agreed that they wouldn't come down to help, and I said especially Slendy. I chuckled a bit, but then midnight struck. fell to the ground, screamed. I was in pain. They almost went down. Slendy held them back. He would follow it, I know. We were good friends after all. Horns started to grow out of my head. My mouth widened. An evil grin. My teeth became like needles and rows grew. My left eye had become black with a red tint. My right eye stayed the same, blue. I grew an extra pair of hands on my back. I like to call those the hands of the screaming souls. Souls are trapped in there from the ones I've murdered. But it wasn't by purpose, anyways. I grew taller. And then I got up, snapped my fingers, and closed. Then I wore a gas mask a bit due to the fumes. I also wore a cape. And also my hands grew bigger like claws, though. All fours, I just remember faint memories of this. Came over to the pile of dead bodies. The next thing I knew, I was eating. Ripping them apart, limb by limb, devouring it. Spitting out the bones, of course. Then my shadow hands, the ones on my back, lit on blue fire. Set the bodies on fire. Then I cooled them off. 'Cause hey, I don't like to eat raw food that often. And then I devoured the rest. They watched in horror. After that, I passed out. Only to wake up the next day. Most of them, Jeff, Ben, Toby, most of them were scared. They gave me a look of pure fear. Then I sat up and I said, "You all probably hate me." But then Toby spat out and said, "No, that was awesome." I kinda chuckled, lighten the mood. Slendy said to me that I should probably stay with him. So I accepted. I became happy again. Yet I still feared that I might become a monster again. Just how I did my family. I told Slendy to be careful. Being a monster, as I have become, isn't the best thing. Anyways, he asked me how this came to be. I knew I had to tell him the truth. I told him I was born like it. The demon side is most common, but there is another. They asked me what. I told them I am just 40% demon, 40% angel, I guess. The angel side has only come out once. Yeah, not the best person, I guess. Demon side comes out most often. It makes me hungrier, it makes me feed. Someday I might tear myself apart. It's driving me crazy. Later, I just decided to stay on that couch the whole day. They asked me if I was going to do the same again. I told them not for 2 more nights. Toby went, "Aw." I asked him why. He said, "I look so cool in that form." I laughed. Toby seemed to like jokes. He sat with me the most often. We'd make jokes all the time. It was funny. He seemed to somewhat understand. I asked him why he wore the mask on his face. So, smile. He took it off and showed me. Said it's a pretty cool scar. It was, actually, but I just wondered, how did he get it? He told me he didn't know. I asked him if it was hard to eat like that, and he goes, "Yeah, it's annoying, but hey." He told him I could heal it if you want. He told me no, he likes it, and I go, okay. He had another scar, though, I could notice on his head. I asked him what happened there. He said, "Oh, he got in a fight, and somehow something hit me in the head." I told him I could heal that one if he wants. He said yes. That one he wouldn't mind getting rid of. So I transformed again, and he looked at me kind of funny, and then I kissed him on the head. He paused and he goes, "Why did you..." He stopped before he could finish his sentence, though. The wound had healed. He goes, "How?" I said, "Magic." He laughed. That is the end of part 1. I might do part 2. Tell me what you think. And if you want to see what I look like, I drew a picture. Gas mask. Hands with fire. I can also have this language. Dark clothes and a cape. Woods. It's not my best. Leave a like and a comment. Bye.